Crash Twinsanity is a dumpster fire of a game, or so people told me for years. Full disclosure, my impression will probably be skewed by the fact this is my first Crash game ever. I actually never had any intention of playing any of the Crash Bandicoot games in my lifetime. I've seen footage over the years, character design and gameplay both always look tremendously unappealing to me, especially the character design. So if you expected a lot of comparisons between the gameplay in Twinsanity with the more traditional Crash games, you will get very little of that here. So welcome to the worst Crash Twinsanity review you will ever watch from someone who has no investment in the series. If it looks like I'm fighting with the camera, it's because I was. The camera controls go with the opposite direction to what I'm used to, and you can't change them. That was driving me to insane at first. 4 hours in, I got used to the camera controls. This game takes 5 hours to beat. In Crash Twinsanity, Dr. Neo Cortex is trying to... I guess he's trying to lure Crash into a trap so his reverse harem of furry husbands can kill him or something. I guess I'd have a better understanding of his motivation if I played the previous games. Based on Twinsanity alone, Crash on his own just looks completely harmless, so why doesn't he just leave him to his business? Anyway, the plan doesn't go well, and literally out of nowhere, two bird evil geniuses appear from another dimension to constantly harass Cortex, and Crash ends up getting involved because I don't know. I think Crash is never fully aware of what he's doing and runs on autopilot. It's that classic recurring antagonist gets outplayed by a new antagonist and must team up with his hero arch-nemesis to reestablish the status quo. Like Bowser in Super Mario RPG or Dr. Eggman in Sonic Lost World. Gameplay follows a very familiar 3D platformer style at first, to the sound of one of the most bizarre soundtracks I ever heard. Most of the music is in a cappella, with a few really good standouts that aren't. You get enough room to explore levels to collect diamonds if you really want to. The traditional Crash collectibles are here too, like the apples and Aku Aku's underwhelming power-up. You'll find a surplus of lives and apples by breaking crates, which are everywhere. Some crates double as platforms in which you can stand on or bounce off. TNT crates will explode after a few seconds, and Nitro crates explode on contact and seem to exist only to add cheap arbitrary extra difficulty to otherwise straightforward sections. The explosive crates sometimes get placed for sake of adding a puzzle element to some of the levels, but I really despise them in the gimmicky levels, of which there are way too many. These levels are one of the reasons I always hear people complain about Twinsanity. You don't get to experience a whole lot of standard solo Crash gameplay. I haven't bothered counting, but it feels like most of your playtime is spent on levels that focus on gimmicky gameplay. You get a small taste of that right after the tutorial level, and this is probably one of the worst ones too. Did they want to scare players off immediately? The scenario itself is funny, but there's nothing fun about how you play it. But if you ignore the gameplay itself, I'm actually surprised by how funny the game is. It's family friendly, but the script is relatively clever and had me chuckle a few times. The voice acting is phenomenal and helps the funnier parts land. And if you don't find anything funny, it still adds that quirky charm to the game. The character animations are also pretty spectacular for a PS2 game, if you appreciate cartoon animation at all. I absolutely love this level of facial and body expression in 2D animation. This is what American animated films and cartoons used to excel at, in my opinion, and they translated that very well here into 3D. Love to see it. These days it's France that reigns supreme in this kind of thing, but Don Bluth animations will forever be the pinnacle of cartoon animation in my heart. Although I'd love to see a modern studio reach that level. Anyway, back to Crash Twinsanity level design. Sure, the gimmicky levels suck, but that level of suck fluctuates a lot. I'd rather spend more time just playing as Crash by himself, but the levels you're stuck holding Cortex and can't jump high, and the levels you're supposed to help him move through a course in the background weren't that bad. The bosses are also pretty okay, not any worse than the boss fights in other 3D platforms I played before. Now, designing courses do suck. They could be fun if they weren't full of blind instant death pits and explosive crates you can distinguish with stiff controls and didn't drag on for so long. The absolute worst gimmick are the sections that require you to run towards the camera. These are some of the most anti-fun hours I've ever had playing a video game. They limit your vision to what obstacles or enemies are in your way while pressuring you to hurry to the finish. This is possibly one of the worst examples of how to add cheap difficulty to your games, and it doesn't feel like the level designer was asking themselves whether it was fun or not, just how challenging it was. Oh, I blew myself up because of an explosive crate that was barely on screen. Big game design right there. This game got released in 2 versions. The first one is really buggy. The second one is what I played, and that's one positive thing I can say. When I saw others play this, they ran into all sorts of glitches. In my playthrough, I don't think I encountered a single bug. The only strange thing that happened was due to poor design rather than lack of quality control. I accidentally ran into the wrong section of a level, which triggered cutscenes I had already seen, which is a thing that happens because the levels seem to be connected and the game will simply act as if it's your first trip again, every time. Which is why I didn't bother revisiting any of them for the diamonds I missed. Does this game deserve the hate it gets? I don't think it does. But if anyone wants to call it the biggest crap game they ever played, I'm not gonna stop them. I didn't hate it, and that's the best way I can describe how I feel about it after reaching the ending credits. Well, if you hate Crash so much, why did you play this? Okay, first of all, I don't hate Crash, in spite of what the video thumbnail says. I was gonna go with person who is slightly disinterested in playing any Crash Bandicoot games reviews Crash Twinsanity, but that was too long. And second, I played this because the game was selected as the Retro Hangover review crew game for the month of June by the review crew at the Retro Hangover Discord, where fans of the Retro Hangover Podcast hang. In case you've been following my channel, you know the drill. I have to rate the game. Crash Twinsanity for the Sony PlayStation 2 gets a 5 out of 10. It's not a good game, it's also not a total piece of crap. Am I recommending it? No. Am I telling you to stay away? No. Can you buy this on other platforms? No. Am I more interested in playing the good Crash games now? Yeah. No. Thanks for watching and take care. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing. Reaching a 400 subscriber milestone before the end of the year would be very encouraging for us. We have paying jobs to focus at, but there are still always more videos in production. So you can help us a lot by spreading good word of mouth about Game Over Hell. Again, as always, thank you for watching.